I'm live now. Got it. All right, let's tweet this because I'm live now. Haha. Hey, I'm live again. It's Friday night and I'm live again. Might as well have some fun. Tell you this, it's cheaper than a movie. We'll see who's on to Friday night. How many in the summer, though it is late summer, kids are back in school. Hello, Robert. It's nice to see you again. Hello, Robert, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Hello, Aaron. I'm glad you've been waiting for me this whole time. Welcome back, Stony Bones. Right now, we're drinking Diet Orange Soda brought to you by HEB. Bird Lady, you're the best. So thank you, Parker. Thank you. Yay! Yay for Barry. Barry's back. Glad to see Barry. All these familiar faces. Hi, Brian. How are you doing? Tonight, we're probably just going to have fun. It's exciting about Rosa, how Rosa filed her appeal. That's exciting. She's not giving up. In a stunning display of unwavering tenacity, Rosa has filed her notice of appeal. How's the heat been in Texas? It's been rather warm. Although, Robert, I do hear that it might get under 100 for 2 days in a row next week. So I got to dust off the old jacket because it's going to be rather balmy. Maybe a little chilly. Under 100. What's that? Doing great. How are you doing? I'm hanging in there. Where's the wine? I don't have any wine yet. I got this orange burst right now. I'm not finished with it. Before business starts, where's the wine? Yeah, I have orange burst right now. And then I'll have beer. I don't really have enough wine right now. I have some rum. I could make a tiki drink of sorts. Ever got bitten by a rattlesnake? No, luckily. Although I've had very close calls. Like a month ago, I was taking out the trash. And I'm walking back and I hear something. Oh, there's a rattlesnake by my foot. It's happened several times. But luckily they're like, and I'm like, is that a cicada or a rattlesnake? And I look, I was like, oh, it's a snake. I have been bitten, though, by a brown recluse. And I'll say that was fun. That was fun, getting bit by a brown recluse. Man, those muscle cramps. There are lots of muscle cramps with that. 66 for a high tomorrow here in Northern Ontario. Wow, that's nice. Or maybe it's cold. I don't know. Last time I saw 66 degrees, it was May, I think, and it was at nighttime. James Bond, have you ever been bitten by a rattlesnake? But it is hot here in Texas, and the lack of rain is disturbing. No, that's all right. It makes two of us. I've been bitten by many a snakes. I've been bitten in the eyeball by a snake. And some eye juice came out. I forgot the name of it. It's something, starts with the V, something with the V, humors. And some eye juice came out. And I lost a little bit of vision in that eye. And then, but I didn't go blind. But when Soot Sprite bit me in this eye, because it was right in the middle of my pupil, and she made a cut, a huge V in my cornea, beak shape, I was blind in that eye for like 2 weeks. I couldn't see. You did catch a record timber rattler in southeast Minnesota. I didn't know that rattlesnakes are that far north. That's crazy. Exactly. Room for Tony and room for Susan. I agree, Juan. I agree. 67 for a high for the whole next week here in Anchorage, Alaska. But we got a straight week of rain with flood warnings. Wow. Send some of that rain down here, Aaron. It's dry. It's drier than Tatooine here. 6 foot. That's pretty big. The rattlesnake that was in my backyard a few weeks ago was pretty big too. What's the scoop with Rosa? Well, Rosa filed a notice of appeals. She basically rejected the notion of the FINRA case, saying that there was prejudice to it. And she filed that notion saying that she does not agree with FINRA's motion to dismiss the case. She appeals that. She disagrees. It means that she hasn't given up, even though she's been quiet. She hasn't been giving up. The song's not over yet. There's that old Hindi proverb. It says if the ending isn't happy, then the movie's not over. That was the proverb of that movie Om Shanti Om, starring Shah Rukh Khan, which I had that movie. No class action lawsuit. Keep calling Congress. We will prevail. Don't also forget, Juan, that the brokers said that these shares will give you Nextbridge, and they owe you Nextbridge. They only sell the purest of shares, Juan. They owe you a Nextbridge share. They owe you a Nextbridge share. And they're not like FINRA. Exactly. Don't forget about those brokers. And again, if you have an IRA of sorts, check out my video from last week. That's the IRA, MMTLP Nextbridge IRA edition. If you have an IRA and you're thinking about, well, why can't I transfer to Nextbridge? There's actually a way for you to transfer your shares to Nextbridge. Not Nextbridge, sorry. There's a way for you to transfer your shares to AST, the transfer agent, to get the Nextbridge. In what way distinguish Mustachio? I'm not sure. You're very vague. I need a backstory. MMTLP is very complex. So I'd like a little context, please. Context is king. Would you join us on a space chat with Drew? When would that be? Like now? I'm doing a live now because this is my fun. I can have some fun when I am able. Okay, I'll think about it. Usually I don't do too many spaces, but I might. We will see. I usually don't do too many spaces. I do like doing Twitter. Not Twitter. Sorry, it's Friday. And I haven't had enough drinks. That's why. I haven't had enough drinks. I do like the YouTube lives. But that's me. Hey, it's me again. Okay. Oh, Stoney called and talked to Chuck about a month ago to send to AST. Shares still haven't been sent to AST. Should a transfer take that long? Stoney, so JP Morgan told me it'd take about 6 weeks. And that's JP. Funny enough, Stoney, Charles Schwab had a corporate notice about me. Fun fact. When I had the video not long after the U3 halt, and I had a talk with Chris at the DTCC. And it was me talking with him, and I had Pigeon AI art on there. And Chris gave a very good script to use with your broker to try and put pressure on them. We're going to open up a case on my behalf where you talk to the DTCC about where my Nextbridge shares are. Charles Schwab didn't like that because they didn't want people opening up cases with the DTCC on their behalf with their brokers. So they put out an internal memo with me and said, you're supposed to tell the client if they call Read You Bird Lady's script, you're supposed to give them our script, which says, oh no, we talk with the DTCC all the time. Don't worry. We got you covered. It was crazy. Charles Schwab. I'm tempted to go into Charles Schwab and be like, hey, it's me again, and see what they do. I'm tempted. Or maybe hide in a plant like Spaghetti and be like, hey, it's me again. Doing the old hide in the office plant trick. Classic bird lady move. We're just waiting. Thanks doing what you do. Right on, Moon. Yes, we're waiting. Can't wait to say, Juan, we won. That takes some skills to say that. Juan, we won. It's like unique New York, you know you need New Yeet. I can't even say it. Unique New York. Classic spaghetti. Exactly, classic spaghetti. Spooked ya. Spaghetti is dedicated to his craft. He'll wait 4 hours in a dumpster only to find out he was waiting in the wrong dumpster. He's dedicated to the craft. Spooked ya. Spaghetti. I love classic spaghetti. I also miss Tony. And, doing YouTube Live is going to be, a bit hard without him because we did several live videos together. But it's fun memories, for sure. But definitely going forward, it's going to be hard. It's not without its difficulties. Exactly. We'll win for him and his family. I agree. So what's everybody doing on Friday night besides watching me? I'd like you to, I'll stream live. It's cheaper than a movie. It's cheaper than a movie. Maybe the whole 3 bottles of wine makes it not cheaper than a movie, but we will see. So we can take a poll. Let's take a poll about what drink I should make because I have dark rum, I have orange juice, and guava. So we can say tiki drink or beer. And the beer on tap tonight is Lone Star, I do believe. Or it might be Cuareno Rojo. I'm not sure. It's either Cuareno Rojo by Red Horn Brewery in Austin, or it might be a Lone Star. Tiki drink is guava. Orange juice. So, what should I drink next? The tiki drink with guava juice, orange juice, and dark rum. It's almost like Pog. It's almost like a Pog without the pineapple. I ran out of pineapple. Or we got Lone Star beer. Vote. Cast your vote now. This will determine my next drink. We will take a tally. Make yourself an adios. What's an adios, Yucca? Tell me about it. Has anyone ever thrown bread at you? No, nobody's thrown bread at me, but that would be awesome if they did. If they threw bread at me, I would not complain. I'd be like, heck yeah, free bread. Tiki shooters with a beer chaser. Oh my, okay. Well, that sounds rather intense. I like it. It's unique and intense. I've done that before. I've had quite a few wines and tiki drinks. Like, it opened up a beer, and Mr. Bird Lady's like, oh, okay, you want a tiki drink? I just cracked open a beer, and I'm not going to say no to a tiki drink. So I'm like, sure. And I drink a tiki drink, and then I just have like a lukewarm beer chaser after that. Tiki, we have 2 for tiki. Well, hello, Al. Welcome. Adios, MF is a Long Island with a shot of blue Caraco. Whew, that's boozy. That's boozy. One of the first times I got drunk in my life was with 4 Long Island iced teas. So it's a considerable amount of alcohol. Now, even though I have the Slavic genes, I think it fared well. But that's the first time I ever got drunk was 4 Long Island iced teas. They were in a tall, thin Long Island iced tea glass. Half ounce of vodka, half ounce of rum, half ounce of tequila, half ounce of gin, and then the blue Caraco, 2 ounces of sweet and sour mix. Okay. And then we have Sprite, 7-Up, and we garnish with the lemon wedge. Oh, wow. Okay, so you add Sprite or 7-Up for the citrus to balance it out and give a little bit of bubbly. First time you got drunk was off Mad Dog Grape. That, I will give you a round of applause. That's a round of applause. Mad Dog Grape, right on. Mine was Long Island, and then probably next was box wine. So there you go, some box wine. Although, I grew up drinking wine. So, as I said, I'm from a Czech family. And going to my grandparents' house, you always had wine for dinner. And us kids, we even got a glass of wine. It wasn't much wine. You were taught to sip it and you had water, but we had the wine to drink. Hey, Bird Lady, you're from Boston. Thanks for keeping me sane these last 8 months. You're welcome, Tom. You're welcome. Break out the beer bong. I don't have a beer bong. I have a vuvuzela somewhere in this room, which might be used as a beer bong. I think I have too much of a gag reflex to adequately do the beer bong. I think I have too much of a gag reflex there. My mammalian diving reflex is too good. So I can't do beer bong well. Like there's this video out there of this chick. She has like a Velky Pivo. She has like a 20-ouncer big beer. Velky, and she's like, in like a second and a half, just open it up down the gullet. Like, I'd be like, holy cow. Like her epiglottis is it just goes on in. I was like, whoa. I don't have that. Yeah, I have to chug it, which takes a long time, and there's oxygen exchange. She was just like, oh, like a duck or something. I was very impressed. I was like, that's some extreme skill. Which drink goes best with kolache? The kolache. Okay, kolache is, it could be breakfast. Usually it's breakfast. When I went to Czech Republic, it was breakfast. And so probably, I don't know. It depends what part of the Czech Republic you're in. It could be some slivovica. It could be slivovica, or I will say straw wine. Straw wine. So Czech Republic doesn't do ice wine as much as they do straw wine. They might do ice wine. I don't know. But no, not straw wine. Borchak. So Czech, you have Borchak, which is my favorite. The German version of it is Fiedelweisen, or young wine. It's Fiedelweisen, but Czech Republic, it's Borchak. I went there last. 25 coronas will get you a little glass of Borchak. And it was like, at that time, it was like $1. It was $1 for, 3 ounces. And we're like, yeah. And me and Mr. Burr later just walk around the city. There's a Borchak person on every corner. We're having a great time. How are you? I'm hanging in there, Harrison Clark. How are you? Your mic may be bad. Unable to hear me. I don't know, Dudley. You're the first person to complain. Everybody else can hear me, and I'm talking rather loudly. As, I have my headphones on. Hi, Bird Lady from Boston. I'm Rick. Rick, you're the second person from Boston. I know it's been a while since I've been online, Cece. Well, it's nice to see you again, Rob, from Long Island. Hello. Okay, you're at California. Checking in. Oh, and those from Cleveland, Michigan, Detroit. How are you faring? You had some tornado warnings last night. Like, I got a warning on my phone. Like, Cleveland was under tornado warnings. I'm like, oh no. Why is RBC Direct Canada writing to me if I want to register my share to Next Bridge? Shouldn't it be automatic? I'm not sure, Victor. I'm not sure. That is a question I would ask RBC of Canada. I'm assuming RBC means Royal Bank of Canada. I'm not sure, though. That is a good question for Canada. That's a good question for that broker. Why aren't the shares automatic? Why don't you transfer them to AST? What other steps are you anticipating here, broker? What else don't I know? Love all the birds. I also love birds. I should go get another bird. You know, Soot Sprite and Muffin Man are sleeping. FYI, Soot Sprite and Muffin Man have been living in the house for the past 3 months because it's been so hot outside. They've been living in the house since late June. So they're pretty much house chickens right now, and they're just loafing around. Muffin Man gained some weight, though, which is good because he's an elderly bird, and he's gained some weight, and it's good. But Soot Sprite and Muffin Man have been in the house for several months now. I made a coop for them in the house. Okay, we are on 2 tiki drink, 1 beer. Vote. What drinks next? I'm on a diet orange soda right now. Got my Sprite. I've got my Orange Crush. But this is the HEB Orange Crush version. I should have come on with an alcoholic drink of sorts, but we'll ease on into it. Pigeon watching. Fear is the Tool. Fear is the Tool sounds like a great metal band. I like the name. I love Tool. Those who know me know I love the band Tool. And I love Tool. You know, tiki drink. 2 for tiki. All right, we have 2 more for the tiki drink. Have a shot of Chateau. I do not have Chateau right now. I hope all until East 2024 we can do Vegas party. Been waiting since 2020. Yeah, I've been in this since January 2021. I'm looking forward to a Vegas party. All right, Giorgio Rogers. He says a tiki drink. We're up to 5 for this tiki drink now. I'm limited on alcoholic resources at the minute. 6 for tiki. Oh, 7. 7 for a tiki drink. We're up to 7. This evening, I was thinking about one of my favorite movies, Wizard People, Dear Readers, which isn't really a movie. It's a soundtrack to Harry Potter somebody made in like 2006. It's a soundtrack that they made to Harry Potter, the first movie. It's hilarious. And I was thinking about it in Czech. Like, how would it translate well in Czech? So, I was thinking about that movie in Czech, you know. Myslím se na Harry Potter filmu. All right. 2 more for the tiki drink. Stop the count. It's a shutout. It is. It's, yeah, we only have 1 for beer. And that beer was a chaser. That was presented as a chaser. So, it was a tiki drink with a beer chaser. Beer. Okay, we got 2 for beer. We got 2 for beer. It changes everything. Exactly. Up. 3 for beer. NC says tiki drink, and now NC says it changed his mind. They want beer. Or 4 for beer. Anita says, yeah, I want a beer. Beer here. All the above and tiki drink. Okay, so we voted all the above. And a tiki drink. Okay, another 1 for the tiki. So what's everybody doing tonight besides watching the Bird Lady? Or maybe you're not sure what to do. The nice thing about this is you can watch later. And it'll probably still have the same effect. I'm having a nice old-fashioned now. Right on. That was a drink that me and Tony liked. Tony, I know, liked old-fashions quite a bit. So he was a big fan of the old-fashioned. I need a beer. I think you already voted, Al. Ethan Explored says beer. And of the beer, it's Lone Star, a Texas classic. It's Lone Star. Just woke up from a nap. Saw the notifications. Jumped in right on NC. Congrats on the nap. Naps are always nice. Did you have any wild dreams when you were napping? If so, what were they about? So I had this reoccurring dream, but it's a common reoccurring dream with a lot of people. There's different common reoccurring dreams for people. It's like this given, I think, due to our human experience. One of them is the bathroom maze. Like, that's a big reoccurring dream for me, is the bathroom maze. Like, you need to use the bathroom, and you're going through this endless maze of bathrooms. Each one is more weirder than the last. You just want a place to go with a door on it, and they're all wacky. It's all these wacky bathrooms, and they don't have doors, or these random people come in. It's very bizarre. And it's the endless bathroom maze, and it's like a reoccurring dream for me. Saw my notification on X and jumped in right on. I wish it was called Twitter again. They brought the bird back. Put a bird on it. Put a bird on it. Okay, Gumption Garage says beer. Another reoccurring dream I had, which I had the other night, is I'm back in college. And Pink Lemonade just woke up too. Everybody's waking up. Bird Lady, have you ever taken shrooms? Quite possibly. Have you? You were watching Rush Hour and you fell asleep, and you were watching your own Rush Hour. Oh, dream. Okay, so you fell asleep during the movie and you dreamed about the movie. Right on. Like, you heard it in your sleep and you dreamed it. Oh, that's very common. Another common stress dream for me is like, I'm back at school and it's college. It's the last day of classes. And I forgot I had this one class. It's like the day of finals, but I forgot I had this class and I have to take the test. And I don't know what the class is about. And I'm like, at this point, I think I failed it because I missed the midterm. Do you think this will get settled in 2024? I think there's a strong possibility. Okay, worse. Waffles says beer. So I have 9 for beer, and we're at tie for tiki drink and beer right now. What's your common dreams? Do you have a common stress dream? What is it? I used to have a stress dream where my teeth would fall out my dream, but then I realized like I was grinding my teeth in my sleep, and the pain from that, my brain was interpreting like, oh, your teeth hurt, they must be falling out, so we'll dream about it. So I wear like a boxer retainer, like I'm going to go in for an MMA fight when I sleep, because that's how my jaw is. I just go, I like angrily clench my jaw in my sleep. And I have dreams now where I don't have any teeth, because that's my tongue trying to feel where my teeth are, and it just feels like this rubber MMA tooth guard, and my brain's like, where's the teeth? Why'd our teeth fall out? I still have it. I still have those. It's mostly my tongue moving around going, where the heck are our teeth? Your dreams are mostly wet. That's interesting. Like, you dream about water? Like, there's, like, you're swimming? You need some de-stressing sounds. Like, a Pink Lemonade story of my life. Like, yeah, that's... I don't really have, like, people are like, oh, I have these pleasant... I don't really have pleasant dreams. They're always stress dreams. They're always a compilation of stress dreams. And it's dated back forever. Like, as far as... It's always stress dreams. They're very, like... I take it back. I kept the dream journal for several months. And this was back in 2011. I kept a dream journal. And one of them was this new Robin Williams stand-up show. So that was one. And it was Robin Williams stand-up comedy. You've been microdosing for a year or so. Highly recommend. What do you like about microdosing? Sounds stupid. Once you had a dream about kissing a girl, trust me, it felt so real. And after I woke up, I was so disappointed. And I never seen that girl again in real life. Oh no! The girl of your dreams, the literal girl of your dreams was there. And you're like, oh no. Have you ever died in your dreams? Like, there was a series of times where I died in my sleep. It was like Groundhog Day. I die in my sleep every night. Like, every way imaginable to die, that was the way. And it was crazy. Sometimes I'd be dead in my dream for quite some time. And I just... you'd be in this black void, right? This black void just floating there, no top, no bottom, just the black void, utter silence. And you're like, okay, when am I going to respawn? You're waiting to respawn. You can't move. You just black void, waiting for that respawn. It's happened quite a bit. Whoa, hold on, my feed is getting all crazy. A couple times you did, and you woke up alive, and you got to this point again. Oh no! A lot of times in those dreams, I wake up, and I'm like, yes, it was a dream. Nightmares are nature's cop outs. So, nightmares, nature's cop out. I was so happy. It's just a dream. It's like a mental reset. A step out of the world, chaos we live in. It's not to go and lose my mind and trip phase. I'm an adult with a great job. It helps with depression. I was going to mention, yeah, people highly recommend microdosing for depression. Like, there's several studies on it about depression and the whole reset. And there's lots of documentaries out there of older people doing this. And they're like, oh my gosh, it's incredible. I chalk it up to being, there's a Czech saying, to be born unlucky is to be born Czech. No joke. It's a Czech saying, all right. So even my husband says it. Like, he even says it now. I'm unlucky because I'm Czech. I'm like, you're not Czech. Well, he is Czech by association. Check him out. He's checkmate. I'm like, you're just checkmate. And I want the shirt to say Czech and checkmate on him. Like, checkmate. See? And that'd be great. Checkmate. Like, we'll wear old people couple shirts. But he does the whole thing. I'm unlucky because you had a dream about psycho duck taped puppies to a tree over a river so that they would starve and die there. Oh my gosh. You freed the puppies and took them home and we're happy together forever. Whew, Al Stewart, that sounds like a crazy dream. And a psycho duck did this. Was his name Howard by any chance? Was he Howard the Duck? Was he Donald the Duck? Was he Daffy Duck? Was he, Scrooge McDuck? Glumgold? What kind of duck was this? That was indeed a dark dream. It's good we're talking about dreams. Because you're like, am I strange for having this dream? And due to the magic of the internet, you can look this up and be like, no, it's actually quite common. It's quite common to have this dream. There's 8 billion people in the world. And now we're all sharing our experiences. So you're a lot of people are realizing that some stuff which I thought was odd, is more common than people think. Do you know anything about the oil company in Louisiana for the next bridge dividend? Well, it is a Greg McCabe company. It is a Greg McCabe company. And it's in Vermilion Parish, which is southwest of Lafayette. That's where it is in Louisiana. So it's Louisiana Light, but it's mostly oil sands. There's a lot of gas and oil sands there. Before Tony's passing, we were both talking about it. And we were delving more into it. So I'm not quite ready to talk about it yet. But I will soon. He was duct tape. Oh, I see. He was duct tape. Quack, quack. 3M duct tape. I thought there was an evil duck. An evil duck involved. I'm like, oh. You had a dream you met a deer in a toilet. That sounds like one of my dreams. And you became the deer in the toilet. And you became the deer in the toilet and ruled the world. Right on. Okay, right on. That sounds like an introspective dream. Like a fractal dream. Like one of those fractal zooms. That's what it sounds like. We're talking about drinks. Yeah, we're talking about dreams and drinks. So hello. Hello, Kranos. We're talking about dreams and drinks. Welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're on my live stream. I could make either a tiki drink with guava, orange juice, and dark rum, or get a Lone Star beer. And right now we're at a tie. By the time this runs out, Whatever this is most on, I'll go get. Did anybody's life change drastically after MMTLP fiasco? Mine did. Well, my funds were certainly locked up. You're feeling the guava rum drink. Okay, right on. It's more fun. It's like, summertime and it's really hot in Texas. Cool off with a refreshing tiki drink. Hold up the sign gets a bit hard. Let me adjust my glasses for a second. Okay. I moved this nose pad a bit. Too much. Perfect. So we're taking a tally, what drink to have with my chicken scratch. Pardon me for the chicken scratch, but I am a bird, so, you can't expect too much with me writing things. What's everybody's favorite drink? Rab Nappy said an old-fashioned. Tony liked old-fashions. I don't know if they were definitively his favorite, but it was something he did enjoy. But I'm not sure if it was definitively his favorite or not. He might have just said he really liked it. To be nice. Hey, Bird! Now that it seems like they're trying to develop Nextbridge instead of selling, do you think the evaluations change any? So, Bobby, the evaluations can change. The more it's developed, the higher that 15 to 8, well, it's 10 to 18% of oil in the ground. It gets closer to 18. And now some things go up to 20. So what was 18% on the high end is now 20. But the more that the property is developed, the higher that ratio goes. Your all-time favorite at the moment is gin and all right, G&T's, just like the Billy Joel song Piano Man. He's drinking his tonic and gins. Feed the pigs, 7 ampersand 151. Any price predictions for our Grande land sale and Nuco? Well, my price prediction, I said Nuco added a few extra dollars onto what was evaluated for the Oro Grande. It added anywhere from like $4 to $12 on the Oro Grande, depending. And people go, Bird Lady, why are you giving such a high valuation to Nuco? Even though it's oil sands and gas, there is some oil. There's oil sands. Louisiana Light is much higher in price than WTI is. Now, there's not as much oil by any means. There's not as much hydrocarbons in Louisiana. It's a smaller piece of property, all right, and there's not as many hydrocarbons there. However, they are pretty valuable. Louisiana Light historically runs a lot higher price than WTI does. If oil goes near $100 barrel, what happens to Oro Grande land sale price? Well, it does go up. Quiet Quest, especially focus on the limiting factor right now is natural gas. Natural gas for the past 9 months has been pretty low. Partly because of this was last year when oil was $125 a barrel and gas was $11 per 1,000 cubic feet. And liquid natural gas was going crazy. And that's why a lot of these LNG facilities are developing. Speaking of which, there's quite a few LNG facilities pretty close to that Vermilion Parish play that is Nuco. There's a few LNG facilities pretty close by. However, certain circumstances happen, such as Europe's filled up their reserves for natural gas. They're buying all those contracts. They filled up their reserves. That's part of the reason why the price jumped, is because the demand, everybody was buying it to try and stock up for winter. But then they had an unseasonably warm winter. It's like, haha, we're going to be warm this winter. And thus, they didn't go through all that gas that winter. They're planning on like a super cold winter, but it wound up being unseasonably warm. That's not to say that a cold winter is possible. We can't dictate I always say I can't dictate the North American weather patterns, but that's Northern Europe. You can't dictate European weather patterns. That's kind of hard to do. If you can dictate a weather pattern, please share your secret. Please share your secret. You had a dream that a serial killer and you made a pizzeria, with robots. And you put the kids in the robots. This sounds like a plot to Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't know if you ever played that game. And you got in the suit with spring locks. I don't know what that is. It'll kill you and almost die. But 30 years later, I'm still alive. Oh my gosh. Sebastian, that sounds like a plot line for a Five Nights at Freddy's game. I don't know if you've ever played those games. Five Nights at Freddy's. They're pretty popular with the kids. Actually, Five Nights at Freddy's was very popular in China. Like 3 years ago in China, Five Nights at Freddy's was really popular because I had some kids tell me about it. And they were like, some of them who could speak English really well, and they lived in Shenzhen. A lot of them played Five Nights at Freddy's. If they were over 10, they were playing Five Nights at Freddy's. Is it possible in your calculation to get I did 3.1 billion barrels, actually. I was based on 3.1, and then Nextbird said they had 3.2. So it's 3.2 billion barrels. I based off of 3.2 billion barrels of oil and 6 trillion cubic feet of natural gas is what I based the calculations. At first, I just went with the oil, but then I found out the gas value and the gas, and I added that in there. And that's why the price jumped up if you compare my first very early videos to my later videos. But I go by 3.2 billion barrels of oil and 6 trillion cubic feet of natural gas with the Rio Grande. And then the Vermilion Parish play has 250 million barrels of oil and a couple billion cubic feet of not a couple billion. Yeah, a couple billion cubic feet of natural gas. You're the purple guy. Thinking of moving from California to Texas. It's costly in California. Where I don't blame you there, it is costly in California. A lot of Texas can be costly too. You'd be surprised. A lot of Texas is costly. It's way more costly now than it was 10 years ago. How are animals holding up this heat? Rocky asks, I have lost some animals, sadly, in this heat. It's been terrible. I had some older animals who passed away. They couldn't take the heat anymore. That's why my oldest chicken, Muffin Man. It's Friday. I'm tired. I've been working all week. Muffin Man, my oldest chicken, has been living in the house for the past 3 months because it's been too hot. Soot Sprite, the money chicken, has also been living in the house. How are you? Checking it. I'm still here. I'm hanging in there. Do I have any idea when we'll see some money? I'm not sure. Greg, your pardon. There's a couple questions you want to ask. Whew, quiet quest. Okay, 1. If we got a dividend per share, 50. But then after lawsuits happen, can we get paid that $50 and whatever happens from the lawsuits? Correct. Quiet quest. Yes, correct. You can. Everything's big in Texas. Oh no. Yeah, I lost some animals, Kranos. I lost some sheep. I lost my alpacas in the heat. They were older alpacas. I still have the llama. She's ancient. But I had 2 older alpacas. Sadly, they passed away in the heat. They, it's when it's over 105 every day for 2 months straight. And there's no escaping the heat. Like low of 95. Will you share more stock oil plays after MMTR resolution? Yes. In fact, I'm planning on having a fun show where I do live and I have Soot Sprite pick stocks. Like she'll type things out in the keyboard or peck at letters, and then we'll see how that does. We'll follow along with Soot Sprite. She's done it before and she had some good picks. I will admit Sitspurt's had some good picks, although she picks expensive stocks. All of her stocks were like $50 to $300, but they're okay. So I'm like, well, I can only afford one. Well, thank you, Greg. I appreciate it. Appreciate the love. I'm nearing this drink. I'll bring the board back up. We're at 10 for the tiki and 9 for the beer. Welcome to all those joining me. All 50 of you. One time I had 700 people watching me. It's pretty awesome. I had 700 people watching me. Although it wasn't a Friday night. Usually on Friday nights, people are doing stuff. I was bored and this is cheaper than a movie. In my honest opinion, what resolution makes the most sense? So that's a good question, Quiet Quest. I was trying to make a video earlier today, but I didn't like how it turned out. So I have to sleep on it for a night and try again tomorrow. But I was talking about what you call in Rally, you call it a mud womp. And a mud womp is where you're driving on a rally. Like, here's the road. You're driving on the road. And then you can either go to the left or go to the right. Like, there's a tree in the middle or a rock or something in the middle. And you can either take the path that goes to the left or the path that goes to the right. But you end up in the same spot. But you have to decide. That's called a mud womp. And I feel we're at a mud womp. I don't think that there's one true answer. I think you have to get this from multiple sides. I honestly think pressuring the brokers and congressional pressure are, personally, this is my personal opinion, one bird's thoughts. I think doing both of those because the brokers do owe you a share of Nextbridge, right? And the only people who know the share count is the brokers. Like, what are the actual, like, how many shares are residing at that brokerage? TD is going to say, yeah, we have 56 million. That's what they were allotted at the DTCC. That's what they'll say. How many is really there, right? And the only people who know that is TD. Like, how much is really there? Well, hello, Winston. It's a party. It is a party. How is Starlink working out for you? It's all right. It's all right. Sometimes it gets slow during the midday, but we've had a lot of sunspots recently. But I'm enjoying the Starlink. It is a bit more reliable than the LTE. I had a long distance LTE Wisp. And I still have some antennas up. But I had to get big antennas. They weren't Yagi. They were 180-degree antennas. And I had a booster on them. And so I had to do that because the nearest tower's, 10 miles away. I did that for a few years. And then I waited on a list for several years to get Starlink. Like, when it first came out, I got on the waiting list. And it took a few years for it to get to my house. And then they're like, okay, it's ready. You have 10 days to decide, or 5 days. It was 5 days to decide. And our price went up. And I was like, oh boy. Yes. I said, yes, go for it. I like it. Okay, the 10% for the subscription rights from AST is percentage times how many shares you have. What's the math on that? Quiet Quest, I've done a video on that. It depends on the conversion rate of the shares. It depends on the conversion rate of the shares. Right now, Nextbridge has in total 248 million authorized shares. But that's MMTLP. That was McCabe's Wolfbone play. Not McCabe's investment in MMTLP / Torchlight, but his Wolfbone company. Torchlight had the lion's share. They had 65% of the working interest and 49.9% of the revenue interest. There's Wolfbone. Okay. There's, 5% other aggregate like Dingus. Dingus is in there. There's a couple, but basically, everybody coming together on Nextbridge means 248 million shares. My calculations have always taken the other parties into consideration, so that doesn't change anything for you money-wise. Like, figuring stuff out, it's always been calculated in. But, if you taken that, 10% more, so that would be like, divided, 248 million times 10% is what? 24.8 million shares, right? So that means every 10 shares, essentially, more or less. Now, if you take the differential, it's different, right? But basically, about every 10 shares of next bridge that you have, you'll get an extra share of the Oro Grande. You are correct. What do I think about... You're correct, Bill. Bastille, California lawsuit against... I don't think he made a lawsuit against MMAT. I don't think it was him personally who did that. And that lawsuit dated back to January of 2022. It predates the halt. It predates a lot of stuff. Is filed a few months after MMTLPOK. But it also could be in regards to, I think, the merger with Torchlight and Meta. I think that's what... Because there was quite a few lawsuits that came out right after that, right? That's my opinion. What do I think the holdup is with the $40 million share offering? I think, Winston, that was a tactic used, and I think they're not going to go anywhere with it because I think, we have this NewCo. We have the NewCo shares to entice us to register with AST. I don't think they're going to go anywhere right now with that $40 million offering, or at least anytime soon. That's my personal feeling. Did you see SpaceX did a share offering and increased their valuation? No, I did not. I did not see that. Speaking of SpaceX, although I don't live far from, the McGregor SpaceX. I sometimes talked about it, going past the McGregor SpaceX facility. Firefly, which I pass a lot, Firefly, it's going on the way to Austin when I go down to Austin. Man, they have been building like crazy over the summer. They've added quite a few buildings at their testing site facility in Briggs, Texas. It's in Briggs, Texas. It's north of Austin, between Austin and Lampasas on 183. They've expanded, and they actually have newer offices now south of Leander. Again, off of 183. It's by Red Horn Brewery. It's right by Red Horn Brewery. They have a facility there. And it had a big rocket, like stage 2 thing there. And I took a picture of it once. But then now they have this huge office building there. So the Firefly's been expanding. They have some contracts too, that Firefly. What are my thoughts on MMAT? Do you think they will do another reverse split as low as this? Bobby, that might be possible. I don't know though. It might be possible. We are ending September. I don't know if they can they get another extension? It's been under $1 price for over 6 months now, right? And their thing ends in September. Can they get another extension on it? Do you think NextBridge will get a value placed and everyone will still pour back into MMAT? Well, to get a value placed on it, there's two ways. I mean, you have a share value, which is, based on market conditions, which is that related to the value of the property, right? That's just a market demand, market supply of the actual share itself, not so much a company valuation. But to evaluate the assets itself, if that were to happen, then brokers don't have to, all they have to do is just, it goes down the chain of who owes what. And they just say, you owe me. If NextBridge is valued at $50, they'll call up everybody who owes them a share and say, just give me the $50, go down the chain. If SpaceX goes public, what do I think the share value? That's hard to say, NC. That's hard to say. When they say exercise my rights, what does it actually mean? I have to tell AST I want to exercise my rights to get a new code. I'm not sure. Quiet Quest, I'm not sure what the context is of that. You miss Tony's new videos on the weekend. It feels so different. I hear you. It does. It certainly is. Hey, Bird Lady again. Well, hey, Jared. Have you guys seen other sales of Permian Basin assets recently? So, Jared, this past spring, sales were going pretty good in the Permian. And the New Mexico portion of the Permian sales are doing really good. And in fact, that 10 to 18%, or the 12 to 18% valuation bumped up a bit. It's not like 12 to 20. So that got bumped up, actually. People go, see the land, it didn't really change. It's like, no, if you look at it, actually, they're selling less oil for more money. It bumped up. Have I heard the Pebble Project? Northernly Mineral Dynasty. No, I have not. I've not heard of the Pebble Project. That sounds like something a penguin would do. Tell me about the Pebble Project, and are there penguins involved? And if not, why not? Why aren't there penguins? Okay, actually, I've heard that's the proper pronunciation depends. If you think about the Aztec pronunciation is Mexico. So it's Mexico. That's what I heard. Because the XI is she, Mexico. But the conquistadors came in. I was watching, there's this YouTube channel, and it's like one of them is a mediocre samurai recounting his life, and another one was like a translator between a conquistador and Montezuma. And I'm like, where the heck did they find a translator back then? Like, there's a translator. Who was this guy? Like, tell me, how did you become a translator so early on? Like, they picked up the language. How did they become a translator? I want to know how this guy became a translator for this brand new culture discovered in the 1500s. Like, was he an Aztec man and then he learned to speak Spanish, or was he Spanish and learned to speak Aztec? Like, what? How did he translate? Like, how did this happen? That's what I want to know. You have to throw a party so we can all visit you. Yeah, I was thinking about throwing a party for the eclipse. I'm in the path of totality. Why does everyone seem to gloss over the new CEO of NextBridge being associated directly with a mineral rights sales company? Seems good. Well, Jared, Clifton DeBose managed Valor Minerals, which was a Greg McCabe company. Greg McCabe had interest. By interest, I mean like rights, to a company, shares, essentially. If it's private, it's considered interest or equity. And you can have royalty interest or working interest in oil, as I've talked about. It depends. And to manage that, he had Valor Minerals. I mean, buying working interest, debt conversion to working interest in oil companies, it's nothing new. I'm not sure why. Yeah, that would be controversial. Latest MMAT interview revealed some amazing stuff. Everything related to this is just whoa. Printed nanotechnology that can change properties associated with Lockheed. I mean, whoa. Right on. Is it possible we transferred AST, we own NextBridge, and then sell land subsidiaries, which gives us dividends? You will get paid if that happens, Quest, then you get, if it's a stock exchange, like stock company so and so buys it, then you get a share or, a calculated share, a conversion rate of so and so, or cash, or both. But then we still get next bridge in the future lands. Okay. I'm not sure about the second part of that question. If you have AST, you're thinking about Nuco. Yes, you would still have Nuco. Also, you would have a subscription to NextBridge. So you would still have a tiny bit of interest left for the 5 years of NextBridge, which is good. That's awesome. So if they sell it to a company, you get a tiny share of royalties. It's great. Did you buy HNRC and get the new dividend? No, I was tied up, Cabo, in MMTLP. So I was not able to buy HNRC. Have you bought HNRC to get the? I was hoping to. I was hoping like MMTLP would be resolved by that. But that didn't happen. Fun fact: HNRC tried to do a block, not a blockchain. Well, it was a sort of blockchain coin back a few years ago in 2019. And I did extensive research into it. They even went to like Switzerland to the crypto thing, but because it's an oil-backed crypto, it couldn't be a crypto. It had to be a commodity-backed security. So they got shut down. And then, back in 2022, people were telling me about this other company that did the same thing. I'm like, how's that going to work? HNRC tried it back in 2019 and they never got far with it. But their new spinoff seemed very promising. Cabo, it seemed very promising. And HNRC, I think, did a lot of good things. They focused on recycling fracking water, which is great because now it's that's perfect. You recycle the fracking water. They did. That's value added right there. That's value added. Number black 3. Number blued 4. Hello. Joseph Perazzi. Talked about the party. All right, I'm out of a drink. Last call to vote. 10 for tiki, 9 for beer. This is your last call to vote. Do I drink a tiki drink or beer? Last call to vote. Tiki drink or beer? All right, gotta vote for beer. All right, Jared, vote for beer. Oh! Why in the NBH release they always say they have interest wells in Oklahoma? Because they have one well. They have one well interest in Oklahoma. They have one. Hey, Bird Lady, nice to see you live again. Of course. Is there a timeline to have my next bird shares AST? Tiki drink. All right. The timeline is 60 days post the effective date of the S1. People seem to think it needs SEC approval. Remember, NextBridge is a private company. It's a private company. If they have no comment within 30 days, it's effective. No comment in 30 days, it's effective. So we might be coming up on an effective date. Like I said, I gave a timeline initially, but we might be coming on an effective date here soon. Did we get the well in Oklahoma? It's still there. It's still there, quite. Although I think the production rights go to somebody else. Like when Metamaterials had, the oil and gas on the books. So they didn't have oil and gas in the books. A lot of that went to other people, went to other debt that was owed, essentially. McCabe Petroleum took it over. I'm pretty sure if NextBridge offers 50 cents a share for every share transferred to AST, everyone would transfer. Well, then NC, everybody gets cash and keeps their shares. And that might, but think of this. I mean, if there's 165.5 million MMTLPs times 50 cents, you know, that's like, you know, $82.5 million to get transferred. It's a lot of money. That could run NextBridge for some time. Like, that would complete a lot of wells. You transfer, you said transferred, right? Sorry, transfer share to AST. But yeah, that would be expensive. All right, it looks like Beer's the winner by 1 vote. By 1 vote, Beer's the winner. Oh no, we're tied. We're tied. Sorry about that. We're tied. We're tied. We need a tiebreaker, guys. We are tied. Nope, actually an extra vote. Beer's 1 extra vote. Why did it go over there? I don't know. Okay, Tiki. Now they're tied. Now it's really tied. It's 12-12. It's 12-12. I have transferred so far. My JP Morgan shares are in transfer to AST. All right, Tiki. Awesome. We're seeing what drink is next. The money you spent for buying NextBridge, that went to whoever had the shares before you did. Like, if somebody buys a share from me, the money goes to me. There's an initial offering from the company. That's when the company gets money. But beyond that initial offering, the money when people buy shares goes to who they bought them from. The seller. Okay, Tiki it is. I win by 1 vote for Tiki. I will be right back with the Tiki drink. I'll be right back. Watch this fish tank in the meantime. You can watch a relaxing fish tank in the meantime. I'll be right back. Tiki is indeed the winner. Right. Okay, I'm back again, and I got my tiki drink. I got my pineapple juice, guava juice. I got 2 shots of rum, 4 shots of pineapple juice, and 2 shots of guava in my Mar glass. Where's the fish? He's in here somewhere. There's a lot of plants in here now. If my fish is hiding back behind here, I'm not going to see him. But he was out this morning. So he's somewhere in here. We will find him. But if he's like back in this other corner, it's hard to see. Can you give a shout out? I'm new. Hello, hey. I'm glad you subscribed. Welcome. Is there a deadline to transfer? Yes, Cabo. It's 60 days after the S1 becomes effective. It's not effective yet. Once it's effective, once there's a date on that S1, or there's a release that says it's effective, then you have 60 days from that day. That's the deadline. When will it be effective? It might be soon, as NextBridge is not a publicly traded company. So, the amount of time it needs to become effective is much less than if it was trading. Which oil company would you like to buy the Oro Grande? Exxon, Chevron, or others? Honestly, probably maybe Chevron. And I say this if they had the chance, because Chevron has that variable dividend. But I won't complain about Exxon either. Exxon has a stronghold in the Permian because, XOM. But, sorry, not XOM. XTO. XOM is Exxon, but XTO. Too many acronyms. XTO, which has their own company that takes care of the Permian assets that they bought in 2020. So does Exxon, now that they have their own subsidiary that takes care of that. Would Chevron be one for you, or you think two for? I'm not sure. Quite Quest. It depends on the value. If you do not transfer to AST, Krishna, you still get your NextBridge share. You just don't get the extras that come with transferring to AST, if that makes sense. Like, you get the extra interest in the Oro Grande, the extra subscription rate for 5 years, and then you get the NewCo subscription rate for 5 years. But if you choose not to transfer, you don't lose anything. Does that make sense? They're not going to take away things from you. Are you obligated to transfer? No. Transferring is your own personal choice. It's your own personal choice. It's like that Rush song. Hello, Andy. How are you this evening? Welcome, everybody. We have some people coming, some people going. How's it going on a Friday evening? What are you up to? I'm drinking a tiki drink. It's nice to see you as well, Raymond. After 180 days, you could still transfer those back. Am I right? Maybe it depends on your broker. Some brokers say, well, you can't take them back. It depends on the broker. I think brokers say you can't take them back as a way to maybe scare you. And even brokers are like, yeah, we'll transfer the shares. It takes 6 weeks. Why does JP Morgan take 6 weeks to transfer? I don't understand. Oh, because you got to break them off the jumbo certificate and Why are we talking about jumbo certificate? You know, it just gives brokers time to scramble. What happens if you do not give you the oil? I don't understand. Hey. Stay home. Pick my behind me. I don't understand either, Andy. What's going on? What happens if I don't give the oil? I didn't know I have oil to give. You mean what happens if the company doesn't give the oil? The oil isn't going anywhere. It's been in the ground for millions of years. It's not going anywhere. My AC turned off. Now it's really quiet in the house. The AC briefly stopped running. The Chinese word for AC is Kongtiao, and so I just call this my Kongtiao. Because before I built the cabinet around it, the little room around it, you know, in China, they have like the window unit AC or the wall, you know, it's up on the wall and they have a remote control to control it. In America, we have a central unit, right? We don't have a room unit. So I show my Kongtiao and they're like, whoa, that's so weird. Let me type something to this chat. Hello. Oh, I got 6 likes. Does Next Bridge plan on producing and making money, or are they just waiting for a buyer? I think they might seriously consider producing if they haven't already while they're waiting for a buyer. I think it's time that they start producing. And I think they are in the consideration of it due to the specific language and verbiage used in more recent documents filed with the SEC. So here's a question for everybody. Here's a question. If I made a video game, like I did the artwork, I did the programming, if I'd made like a mobile video game, it'd be simple. Would anybody play it? It would be called Chicken Runner. It's a runner game and it's with chickens. And basically, you choose your chicken and you choose your background, and it's a runner game. Would you play that? You know, it's a simple phone mobile game. I like simple games, they're fun. Whoa, my Woot.com order's going through. I ordered a pressure washer from Woot.com a month ago, and it's finally shipping out. Hurrah! Eric G would try out my video game Chicken Runner because I've been working on it. Sounds like something I would do instead of Wordle. You know, I started Chicken Runner. I think I showed you Kronos. I was a chicken platformer, but now I'm just gonna do a runner. So, but I did show you Kronos. I did show you. But now I'm just going to do runner. But then the language changed. Now it's a different language. And what was used back then isn't valid anymore on Game Maker. So I have to change the language. And I am trying it. They already have so many games like, yeah, but this one is made by the Bird Lady. And it has chickens and has birds in it. Put a bird on it. Put a bird on it. It stars Muffin Man. I have Muffin Man in Pixels. He's been there for a long time. I have Sit Sprite. I'm probably going to make chicken salad. They're going to be all after my chickens. You can choose a chicken and you can choose your background. And you have to avoid the hawk and the owl. And you have to collect sunflower seeds and mealworms. That's the goal. And it just goes on forever. It's endless until you stop playing it. Where you come from? I come from Earth. Are you using Unity or other engines? I'm using Game Maker to make it because it's a 2D game. So I'm using Game Maker. That's what I'm using. All right, people would try it. Please, I already shout out to you. Hey, hey. Your friend, Ansley. Okay, there you go. I come from Earth. Surprising, I know. Surprising, I know, but I come from Earth. Hello, XXJ. Like what state? A state of confusion. I got the live on my FYP. Who are you? I'm the bird lady. I'm the bird lady. I talk about oil and gas because I'm a bird. Like you've might have seen the therapy gecko. He's like husband material for me, but dresses as a gecko and he live streams. But he talks about like people just call in and say whatever crazy thing, and he's not really a therapist. It's above his pay grade to really be a therapist, but he'll listen to you. I'm the oil and gas bird. Hi, bird girl. Hello. Wait. Oh, thank you, Cece. Woo! Cheers to you. Cheers to you with this boozy tiki drink. Cheers to you. I live in Texas. Hey, hey. I live in the Texas. The Tejas. To answer you. Thank you, Cece. Cheers. All right, XS Jason animator. Woohoo! All right, we have a couple animators. We have more than one animator here. Right? Great job. What do you animate? 2D, 3D, Flash? You know, what kind of animations you do? Do you think Chevron will buy 1-for-1 or 2-for-1? I'm not sure. It depends. It depends on the deal struck and the prices that day. But you know my valuation, Quiet Quest. So look up the Chevron valuation and then do the math. You just do the stoichiometry for that. I believe NBH, if this thing gets settled and it's supposed to, can be the premier hydrocarbons company. Craig, it certainly has potential. I'll say this, it certainly has potential. If they do develop, it certainly has potential. You know, they're sitting on a lot of oil and gas. You're also going to start animating. Low motivation, though. That's okay. It's a lot of work. But it's easier than ever now to get involved in animation. Okay, XSJ is going to introduce themselves. Right on. Delinquent cat. Oh, here's one of my corridoras. Right here is a corridors fish. I don't know where my betta fish is. I think he's back behind here, but he was out earlier today. But he might be sleeping now because it is nighttime. Let me turn off this light. There. Wait, XSJ, do I have to guess your name? It's like if somebody's like, hey, guess my name. Uh-oh. I hope after MMTLP is said done, you continue stock research and analytics. You were made for this stuff. Well, thank you. All right, Jared, have a good evening. Have a good evening. Quiet Quest. It depends. It depends on your risk tolerance. What's your risk tolerance? There's lots of stuff for $1 that you can do, but it depends on your risk tolerance. It's high. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, I think, you know, that would be a good question for Soot Sprite the Money Chicken. Soot Sprite the Money Chicken might have an answer for you. I should bring her out. Okay, 23. And you do other stuff like game. Right on. Do you like to animate in 2D or 3D? But I was working on my chicken runner game. I have the background graphics done. I have 2 chickens, and I'm working on the animations for the owl and the hawk right now. 2D, right on, right on. But Game Maker did change some stuff around in a few years. But that's all right. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out. Coding is just a bunch of variables and arguments. That's really all it is. You have to, what is it? You know, what's it account for? That's a variable. And what happens when these things change? What does that do? That's your argument. Variable and argument. Use flip-a-clip. All right. I've never animated with flip-a-clip. That sounds something like a flip book. Like a digital flip book. It's a lot of arguments with the computer. It is. It is. Because then all of a sudden something breaks. And you're like, why doesn't this work? You know, why does this... Yeah, why doesn't this work all of a sudden? Is it the argument itself, or should I put this? Like, is there an order of operations to these arguments? It's a lot of bashing your head into things. That's for sure. Okay, Fatima, hello. Welcome, welcome, hello. PHE rhymes with ANC, welcome again. Welcome. Dobry večer. We're drinking a tiki drink right now. It's orange juice, guava, and dark rum. Oil sands a loser. Woo! Anthony Ray, thank you so much. Cheers to you. Anthony Ray is entertained. I'm glad you are entertained. Smile. This lighting makes my teeth look really terrible. It makes my teeth look red for some reason. It makes my teeth look red. The lighting. It makes my skin a bit more paler than what it is. I'm actually way more brown than what's presented on screen. But this light has me washed out a bit. But I'm a bit more brown than what's presented right now. It's summertime, so I've browned up a bit. I brown up in the summer a bit. I can do this again. Or sorry, now my lips are dry. I can do that again. My mouth and my lips got so dry 3 weeks ago. I couldn't do that. And I was like, I couldn't do it. It was crazy. Like, I had cracks here. It's terrible. I drove in the only thing that burns in my body are my lips. That's the only thing that sunburns on my body is my lips. So I was driving in the car and it was hot and the sun was beating down, taking the dog to obedience class, and I forgot the chapstick and my lips just shriveled up into oblivion. It was crazy. I'd cut my mouth from lips shriveling up. Well, thank you, Anthony. I know they were fishy lips. Well, I have fish tanks, so I don't really mind. But yeah, everything dried up. And it took a while to make those smooching noises again. To get my horse to trot, actually to gallop. To trot, you go, but to trot, or to gallop, to lope. Lope if you're Western. You go, you do the kissies. And then you apply the pressure. But I couldn't even do that. So to make my horse really gad away, I couldn't even do the kissies. Liquored up, happy hen. Hello, Kitteridge. I'm not liquored up. I'm not liquored up. I've had one tiki drink. It's my first tiki drink. I'm actually not liquored up. If I'm liquored up, I'd be a bit more lucid and coherent. If you ever saw the TV show WKRP, the DJ, the first episode was a cop was on to show the effects of alcohol on driving. And he wanted to show that, like, slows down your impairment. You can't drive. But the DJ got better as he drank. That's kind of me. I get, like, a bit better. So if I act weird and discombobulated, I'm actually sober. I think because it me a bit, like, I relaxed and I'm like focused a bit more. Yep, yeah, WKRP in Cincinnati. Like the turkey, I referenced the turkey drop. The turkey drop. Reference the turkey drop. I think you're pretty intelligent. We all deserve to be happy at the end of this terrible injustice. MMTLP will prevail. We are strong and we are too dedicated. I agree. We are, especially Rosa. Kudos to Rosa. She has an unwavering amount of tenacity, and she hasn't given up yet. And her notice of appeals state that she has not given up. That was a famous show for Thanksgiving, the turkey drop from the helicopter. Exactly. You'll be back to Texas mid-October. Yeah, it's still, we hear that it might get below 100 next week for 2 days. I'd have to dust off the old jacket. Because, yeah, it's been over 100 for almost 2 months straight now. It was over 100 before 4th of July, then it dipped down for a couple of days, and it's been, every day's been over 100 since then, like July 6th and up. All right, your friend has a turkey outside their house. Is this a wild turkey or a domestic turkey? Oh, hello, BTZ. Welcome, welcome. My part of Texas is on fire. Oh, no! Yeah, Texas has been lots of wildfires lately. And Louisiana, too. Louisiana's been pretty dry because it's been so hot. It's been a drought here in western Missouri for most of the summer. We have a flock of wild turkeys around my creek. They're fun to watch. Awesome! You got the turkeys. Yellow Camu. Novi. Oh, I don't know what that means. Yellow Camu. I'm not sure. Crypto, what about the homestead? Cleveland has had its first EF1 2094. I was about to ask Kronos about, I was talking about that when I first started live streaming because you got, like, Cleveland had the tornado warnings because it came up on my phone, like the tornado warnings. I was like, oh no, Cleveland! Like, tell me about it. The tornadoes. That's crazy. The last time I saw a funnel cloud was 2004 when I lived there. I was on 303 and I saw a funnel cloud. And I was like, oh, that's a funnel cloud. And then a tornado touched down in, like, Garrettsville. Ah, that's why Novi's Indonesian. Right on. Okay. Do you play? No, I do not play any FIFA game. Sorry. Okay, that's why I do not speak Indonesian. Sorry. We didn't get too hip bad to here in Acrobatic. How we go and west of it got the. Oh no! I heard about the winds, like the 80-mile-per-hour winds. Like then you had just straight line winds coming in. It looked pretty intense. Like I sent Mr. Bird Lady a link to the video. I was like, hey, my mobile, I just got alerts for tornado warnings. Twinsburg, oh my gosh. I'll have to call my parents to see if they're okay. 102-mile-an-hour winds. Whew. When we had 100-mile-an-hour winds, it didn't do too much, luckily. Knock on wood. It didn't do too much. But it did blow a bunch of stuff around, that's for sure. Holy cow. Your mom said a lot of earthquakes in the Missouri Boot area. I'm guessing along like the Madrid fault. That could be it. Didn't, oh, you know what? There was. in the 1700s or 1800s, there was that huge earthquake along the Madrid Fault that caused the Mississippi River to run backwards for several days, and church bells rang in Philadelphia. Mr. Birdlady cites it all the time. He talks about that earthquake in the Madrid Fault. You live 50 miles from the fire in Jasper. Your son's 8 miles from the 20,000 acre fire in Louisiana. Oh no, crypto. Oh no, I saw videos from that fire this morning. Oh my gosh, it was terrible. You rolled up here at the lake. What lake? So, okay. Karanos, I was telling Mr. Birdlady last night, I didn't realize what this song meant until I was an adult. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and watched the spider out, okay? As a kid, I thought the spider was going up a water tornado in Lake Erie. Because Lake Erie has water spouts, right? It could be a woolaroosh or it could be an actual tornado. But they have water spouts, which is a tornado vortex over water and water comes up. And I was always like, what the heck is a spider doing on a water tornado? And I didn't realize until I was an adult that, oh, they meant like a faucet outside, like a garden faucet for your hose. Why do they call it a water spout? I don't understand. I'm like, that's a water tornado. I don't understand. Oh, that's just some people call it a spout. Isn't that crazy? I always imagined that as a kid. It's like some, eldritch god spider was climbing up a tornado on a lake. I always envisioned that as a child growing up. I'm like, that's a pretty rad nursery rhyme. Why are we singing about this? But okay, I'll roll with it, right? I thought it was some hoary eldritch god thing. H.P. Lovecraft. But it was not Lovecraftian. It was just a garden spider climbing up a faucet in the garden. Okay. Feet, please. Travel. This is not only feet. This is not only feet, sadly. It's not only, I think, I do have some feet. I will show you my feet. Hold on. Oh no. Where's my other foot? It's missing. I have my Dino plushie, but where's my foot? I have my Dino Sinclair. There's my beer bong. Oh no, I only have, up there it is. It got moved. I have to do some gymnastics here. Hold on. I will show you my feet. These are my feet. I'm showing you my feet. You wanted feet? Here's some feet. Haha. Some feet for you. Your beer bong. Yeah, it's my vuvuzela. People are like, do you have a beer bong? I'm like, I got a vuvuzela. That's beer bong enough. You're angry. These are feet. You asked for feet. Did you not? Are you not entertained? These are feet. That is not your feet. You didn't ask for my feet. You just said feet, please. These are feet. I'm a bird. These are bird feet. Well, there it went. It fell off the shelf. That's what happens. Bird lady has bird feet. Exactly. Sorry, I can't show you feet. That's taboo. That's taboo. There needs to be a fee levied for the feet. You can't spell feet without the fee. Also, who wants to see my feet? I got like some hammer toes going on. "30-second recap of the first 90 minutes of the show. We talked about MMTLP, transferring to AST, value of oil and gas, That's what we talked about. On shares from the buyout, then the clock in at 0. And you don't want long-term, you don't want term capital gains tax. You have to hold those Chevron shares for a year. Once you get new shares, new company, the clock resets. So you have to hold them, sadly. You got to hold them. Otherwise, you don't pay long-term 20% capital gains. You pay the short-term capital gains. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see here. All right. Forget the feet. I should moon him. I don't have any moons in here. Oh, you know what? I take it back. I have something moon-ish. I have Yuebing. I don't have Yuebing now because it's not the season for Yuebing. Yuebing is in like 6 weeks still. But you know, I do have these. I do have this moon, which is the Yuebing box. So Yuebing Huangbao. You know, this is, it's not really a bao, it's not really a packet, but I don't know the word for box in Chinese. So, 这是Yuebing Huangbao. Wu mei hongbao. Wu mei hongbao. 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10. There you go. How did I learn Chinese? I used to work with Chinese people all day for 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that's how I learned Chinese. So it was all like just listening. I'd hear people go, you know, I can't even remember what the kid was crying about now. And I'd look it up, and he'd be like, "Oh, Baba, 我不听呀, 我不听呀." And the kid be crying, "Baba, 我不听." I'm like, "What's he crying to his dad to?" And they're like, "Oh, it means dad, I don't want it. I don't want to do this." And then, like, somebody's little brother would be bouncing around on the bed in the background. They'd be like, "Didi, Xiaoxin." Like, hey, watch out. There's danger. Kid, stop that. You know, Didi, Xiaoxin. And so, like, that's how I learned. Shushu. JR, shushu. So, yeah, I dream in Mandarin. I don't know. I had this really, lately I've been having wacky dreams where I try to dream in Mandarin, but it's not Mandarin and I can't understand anything. I'm like, what's going on? This isn't, I don't understand a lick of what these people are saying. It was like I was watching a movie the other day, but it was Czech, but it was all in metaphors. And I'm like, I don't know, I don't understand this, but it's all metaphors. And I'm just not like at that level yet. For Czech, at least, where if they speak in metaphors, I'm really not going to understand it. Like if you say, on Yako Medveda, he's like a bear. Okay, I'm gonna get that. On Taki Medveda, I'll get that, right? He's like a bear. But, if you say some really complex metaphor, I'm not gonna get it. Like, it was one, and it was saying, like, in Czech, it was a Czech proverb. It said, the worst hell is the one we experience here on Earth. And, like, I have no idea what this guy just said. And I had to repeat it, like, listen to it, repeat it. My phone, the translator, was like, oh, the worst hell we experience is here on Earth. Oh, my goodness. Good evening from southern sunny California. Can you think with your open mind eye in Mandarin? Yes, I can. I usually do. JR, I was thinking about movies in Czech like that earlier. Like, I was taking my favorite movie and laughing about how funny it would sound in Czech. And I started saying the movie in Czech to myself. So, and I can dream in Mandarin. I can dream in Czech. I usually dream in other languages I learn. 7,000 subscribers for being entertained, Eugene. Because this costume means I'm for entertainment. Are you not entertained? I can't pull out silly fluff like this. That's okay. You don't have to watch. But if you comment and say you dislike it, that's fine too. How are you doing, JR? You're fluent in English. That's fine. You know, English is my second language. That's what I tell people. It's a tough one. English is, I would say English and Czech is hard because Czech, you conjugate nouns and you conjugate verbs. So you're conjugating nouns and verbs, and it's crazy. So, like, you have different declinations of nouns depending on how they relate to you. And people's names change the same way, too. Like, you can add different things onto people's names to explain how they relate to you or what they're doing in relation to you. So you can conjugate people's names, too. It gets hard. Did your toenails get painted? No, I don't paint my toenails. Jealousy spawned why censorship. Whoa, hello from Stephenville, Texas. First time visiting California. Whoa, wild thinking. You're not too far from myself. Right on. I often talk about Dublin, Texas. You're not too far from where I am. First time visiting California. Right on. Right on. Small world. All right, let's do that. Woo! And Grapevine. All right. You're up in Grapevine by the Big D. I'm assuming Big D means the dermis, which is the largest organ on your body. So it is the Big D. And people are like, I'm going to the Big D. I don't mean Dallas. I had a coworker who said that. I assumed he meant dermis because the dermis is the biggest organ in your body. And so I'm like, yeah, it's the Big D. Hershey, Pennsylvania here. Woo! Sweetest place on earth. All right, Hershey, PA. I've never been to Hershey, PA. I've been to lots of other places in PA, but never Hershey. That looks fun. You don't think of big dermis like the skin? The dermis. The big D. The dermis. What is it? Drophilia? Isn't that the scientific name for a fruit fly? Drophilia? That'd be a big old fruit fly. Remember those gag things as kids, like the invisible dog leash? It was like a wire was in some poly twine, and there was like a cheap harness on the end, and it was like the invisible dog leash and like your invisible dog. And then they had like a wire, and it was supposed to be like you had a pet fly or something. It was like, whoa, like it's so small you couldn't see like your pet fly. You aren't missing much. Small town that smells like chocolate. That might be almost awesome. Small that might be awesome. There's a place in town. If I don't live in town, I live out in the sticks, but if I go into town, there's a bacon factory there. And when they make the bacon, it's crazy. It just, you get hungry. You're like, I need food now. They're making the bacon. I'm hungry. There's a bacon factory there. Another organ with D. I went through Kansas City one time and downtown smelled like coffee. That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. Okay, integumentary system is the skin. Interesting. Everything tastes better with bacon. I mean, chocolate and bacon go pretty well together. The sweet and savoriness, that goes pretty well together. Whiskeyed bacon, candied whiskey. Candied bacon whiskey. That's like a candy bar, I think. Bacon and waffles. That is a pretty good combination. Bacon goes well with maple syrup. I mean, it's like, yeah, maple syrup goes great with bacon. It's sweet and savory. This bird hat's getting itchy. We're almost coming up on 2 hours. And then I gotta turn into a pumpkin. Here in the South, the smell is barbecue. What part of the South? That determines a lot with your barbecue. Like, I'm in Texas. Speaking of which, Stephenville, you got Hard 8. Yeah, Hard 8. When my brother visited me back in June, we went to Hard 8 in Stephenville. There's also a Hard 8 at the Colony, at the, I can't remember. Warren Buffett Shopping Center. Grandscape. At the Warren Buffett Giant Shopping Center Grandscape, there's a Hard 8 barbecue there. And it's next to Cigars International and Gene Simmons Rock Brews. Gene Simmons has his own like burger restaurant called Rock Brews. Carolina, right on, Carolina. You got the mustard barbecue there. Mustard barbecue sauce base in Carolina. Bacon wrap filet mignon. That sounds amazing. That sounds terrific. I would eat that. Maybe put some jalapenos in there, a state vegetable of Texas. I think, okay, do you think jalapenos or hatch is the state pepper of Texas? You know, it was jalapeno when I was younger, but living here for the past 10 years, I think it's become hatch. What do you think is the state vegetable of Texas? Bunch of brisket and a loaf of bread. Right on, right on. The bread is common. So Ohio, Cleveland had a Polish boy. We don't have po' boys because we're on the lake, but we have Polish boys. And it's like a po' boy brand. You put your kielbasa in there and you tap it with slaw and fries, and that's your Polish boy. And usually a barbecue sauce. That's a Polish boy. Oh, we've had 7 spiced rum and cokes. All 7 drinks started off with a toast to Tony. Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad, Al. I know, we're going to miss him for a very long time. We're looking for a place with good barbecue. I'll look up the Hard appeared. It's Hard 8. Hold on. Hard 8. Hard 8. It's Hard 8 Barbecue in Stephenville, and it's off of 281. It's pretty good. It's traditional Texas barbecue. You order at the pit. Like, you have to walk through the pit area, and you order your meats at the pit. And they have a couple sides there. But then, like, your potato salad, your macaroni salad, and your cobblers are inside when you get to the cash register and you drink. But you order the main meat or a smoked potato at the barbecue pit itself. So it's called the Hard 8. Austin, Texas is the flagship Whole Foods. I know. I've been to that Whole Foods many, many times. I've been to the Whole Foods on Lamar. It's the circus. It's the amusement park of food. That's what I call it. It's on Lamar. I've been there many times. Catch is an area in New Mexico that grows green chiles. Hatch is an area in New Mexico. Okay. Hatch. So I guess if that's a New Mexico thing, I guess it is jalapeno. You want to be funny and irritate, make people irrationally angry. You call it the jalapeno. Like some jalapenos, please. Or like, what the heck are you talking about? What's this woman going on about? Jalapeno. Fun fact. In Cleveland, they say pecans. It's pronounced pecan there. Pecan. Pecan pie. I come to Texas, talk about pecans, and people are looking at me like I have lobsters crawling out of my ears. Or like, I don't understand. What are you talking about? Oh, pecans. I'm like, what's a pecan? What the heck? Oh, it's pronounced pecan here. Like, they are very particular about how you say pecan in Central Texas. Hatch chilies are very good. Hello, Infinus. Hatch chilies are very good. I do like I love a smoked chili. I do like a smoked chili. Running in the 90s. I can't sing it. I'm not that articulated. But running in the 90s. The Initial D theme song. Right? Yes. I know my memes. And I watched Initial D. I've seen the anime. I've seen the live action, where his eyes weren't getting worse. It was him getting faster. And don't eat that whole cake. You'll explode. You can't easily eat spicy hot anymore. It's bummer. Oh no! Spicy hot is like my jam. It's my only power. I was born with less taste buds than the average person. Fun fact. Like, you have super tasters, which have more taste buds. I'm actually on the opposite end of the spectrum, and I have less taste buds, turns out, which enables me to eat very spicy foods. I have less taste buds, which is crazy, because people are like, this wine has these awesome notes in it, and I'm like, yeah. I also don't really taste a lot of bitter that people also taste. I don't really taste that. So what happens if we get our 2 days and our shares are in AST? Then it might be hard to transfer back in those 2 days, Ernest. That's the risk. You see, that's why you have a choice to make. I am drinking a tiki drink. It's almost done. It had orange juice, guava juice, and dark rum. Whole Foods is quite disappointing in NVA. Don't know how it works in Texas. Texas is the flagship store in Austin. I highly suggest going to the flagship store in downtown Austin. It's incredible. It's like food amusement park. Like, there's all these little stations, like a mini restaurants are there. They're mini restaurants. And you sit at this counter and eat the food, and it's like an amusement park of food. They have like this massive olive bar, like nothing I've ever seen before. They got an oyster bar, they got olive bar, they got a pizza bar. It's crazy. Midnight here. Whoa, the noble steed name Archangelo is favored for the Travers Stakes. Take care. All right, Kit, I'll have to tell you about my experience with horse racing. I had a neighbor who did it. My next-door neighbor growing up did it professionally for many years, and he taught me a lot of things. And actually, I once paid for a semester of college with winner of the Kentucky Derby once. So take care. Yeah. All right. Well, good luck to Archangel. In the race, good luck. But he taught me quite a bit. This was back in the day. He had stacks of like racing programs in his house, and he had this whole card catalog system of trainers that worked with other trainers. It was intense. No choice at Schwab. They won't transfer AST. Only print and mail certificate for $100. You can send those to AST, John. You can still send your physical mail certificates to AST. Fun fact. In fact, if you go to the site, they will give you, hold on. Here's a site. I think this is it. The form you fill out to mail your certificates to. Yeah. Well, it gives you, in this form, it gives you where to mail your physical certificates to. I was talking about Schwab earlier, how Schwab has a corporate notice. They had that corporate notice against me, which was great. They're like, this person made, and they talked about, and there's a link to my video with the DTCC and giving a script for people to open up a case with their broker with the DTCC on their behalf, and how to do it, and ask for your shares, and to call every day until there's a resolution. Basically put pressure on the brokers, and they did not like it so much. Schwab had an internal memo about me. I'm going to frame it. I'm going to print it out and frame it on my wall. The internal Schwab memo about me. I think it would be great. Is cayenne good for greedy ex-wife pain? Quite possibly. Quite possibly. I'm not sure. You remember the memo. Exactly. You remember the memo. Why the... I don't know. Make another drink. I think it's about been over 2 hours. I think I got to give my voice a rest. It's been over 2 hours, and the people are trickling away. They've had enough of Bird Lady. Also, it's getting kind of late. People are doing stuff tonight. 1 cup of sliced jalapenos, 177% of your vitamin C. It's amazing. Your bottle of wine just ended too, Wild Thing. Exactly. All right, I think that's it. Mr. Bird Lady's home. It's almost midnight. Yeah, it's almost 11 here, and Mr. Bird Lady just came home. So I think I'm going to call it a night. I'm glad, Kranos, you didn't blow away in the epic storms of last night. I was like, oh no. Okay, guys, thanks for hanging out with me this Friday night. I will see you soon. Goodbye.